Well, morning time, everybody out there in YouTube land. We got the sun starting to come up over there. No, but I decided to say, fuck it. I'll just go ahead and sit out here and watch the sun come up, drink my coffee, to see if there's anybody else is up around this time. It's not very normal of me to fucking sit there and start a live stream around this time in the morning, but thought, why not? I thought I'd get some of the sunrise this morning. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Black Watch. Morning. A little bit of peaceful morning out here this morning so far. I can hear the traffic starting to pick up out there on the road, like people doing their morning travels. Wish I had some entertaining things for you guys other than the fire and the sunrise. But I'm not an entertainer. But I've got my coffee. Got my coffee right here. See my coffee? You can barely see it. Coffee. Then right here, cigarette. Coffee, cigarette, campfire, and a sunrise. Yeah. Not too bad. Not too bad. How's everybody doing this morning and out there in YouTube land so far? Trying to catch this wood on fire and get it going pretty good. Just started it. As soon as the wood starts catching, be a little bit more flames in there, but it's really good wood to make coals out of. Well, I'm not sure where it came from, but there was an orange cat running around here yesterday, making the dogs go crazy because they would run away and run up in a tree and sit back down there by the damn tree, waiting for it to come down. It finally came down and ran off into the woods. I don't know if they ever got up with them, but dogs wouldn't listen to me. They just kept on running out, chasing after it. And I told them, I was like, I don't want that cat killed. I don't want you killing the cat. Only thing is, man, they're very territorial. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a cat out here. Take care of all the fucking mice these fucking dogs are ignoring. They're just not used to cats. I know they've killed a cat out here before. Found a dead cat out here one time, and I'm just assuming it was just a young kitten too, man. I was like, man, I'm just assuming it just wandered off in the wrong spot and the dogs fucking killed it. Just gonna sit here and watch the sunrise, everybody. Why not? I don't think there's a lot of people out there that don't get to enjoy the sunrise like they should. I don't mind staying up to see the sunrise. I don't like getting up to see the sunrise, but I don't mind, sitting up to watch it. Just this fucking getting up every fucking morning at a certain time and fucking with the sunrise and shit. I've been a night person most of my life anyway. Some flames going in there. Come on now. Get some fucking. Yeah, when that catches, that'll bring some light in there. It'll catch in a minute. Maybe a fan. Yeah. I had a Bluetooth at one time. I don't know what it fucking did with it. There we go. There's a little bit of flame. I'll get something going. There he goes. It's going to try to catch now. There we go. There's some flames. Trying to breathe. So yesterday I did a bunch of tree trimming and stuff like that. It's getting around that weather where I really need to attack that tower and fucking take all that shit down. So that might be one of the projects I do today is weld up that platform that I'm thinking I'm trying to use. See if I can get that kind of worked out. Breathe, fire, breathe. Come on now. There you go. Pull some of that fresh air in there. Moonchild. Morning time, girl. This is technically my night. Just getting off work. Right on. Yeah. Well, I decided for shits and giggles to go ahead and do a morning type of thing, sit here and watch the sun come up kind of thing and sit by the fire and drink my coffee and have some relaxing morning time, I guess. Pretty much going a week straight. I haven't seen any chemtrails in the skies. Interesting. Really don't have that much to talk about other than just sit here and enjoy the morning. I know it's not the most interesting thing in the world, but Well, I ain't got nothing to talk about unless y'all got something to talk about. Down to 31. Yeah, screw that noise. I'm glad it doesn't get that fucking cold. It rarely, rarely. It's one thing. I don't mind the mountains and all that stuff. It's just the snow and cold weather that I don't like. Otherwise, it's nice. I love the mountains. You know, it would be nice if I had somewhere to stay during the summertime and come back down here to Florida during the winter. But you know, you don't mind snow. Honestly, okay, I'll be honest with you. Well, when it's snowing, when it's actually falling down and snowing, it's not too bad. It's just everything else I can't stand. The cold, fucking the slush, the mud, the fucking ice. I can't stand that. I can get the same kind of quiet down here without the snow. Girls are funny. Oh my gosh, why you guys got to jump on my lap? Why you got to jump on my lap? Hmm. I tell it's getting into fall. I could tell, yeah, because it's starting to definitely get cooler at night here. It's nice though. I mean, I can leave the windows and everything open and stuff, you know. It's actually quite nice. Look how clear it is. Not a single chemtrail in the sky. Mm. Yep. This is, this is nice. Something got the girls' ears perked up, though. I don't know what they're listening for. See the sun poking up right there. Well, I know not a whole lot of people are going to be interested in this quiet time, but I am I'm okay with it personally. A little bit of quiet time in there in the morning, and if anybody else wanted just some quiet time, you know, living through the eyes of the internet with this little quiet time sitting here. It's much better than some people, man. They'll fucking stream themselves sleeping. I'm like, what the fuck is that all about? And the amount of people that sit there and watch, that's just interesting too. It's an interesting psychological thing, just watching people sleep on a live stream. I don't get it. It's to each their own, I guess. PDF, morning time, sir. I went to Autopalooza this year. Had a pretty good time there, PDF. I got to sit down and talk with a bunch of people. That's why I got the fire going, honestly, man. I got a little bit of a chill. Yeah, you should have figured out a way to come on down. At least, you know, you would have had throw hands with someone. Huh. Well, at least there wasn't. Well, there was only one time. There was only one kid that was starting trouble. But other than that, it was pretty cordial. I mostly wanted to go. I mean, me and I went with Joe Cool, and I mostly wanted to hang out with him, and then also while I'm at the meetup, I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to find out, you know, what kind of people they are off the internet. You know, kind of pick people's brains and Find out kind of like where they stand on things. YouTube just locked the comments. 3 of my comments. I just blocked 3 of your comments. No shit. Fuck YouTube, man. I'm serious, man. I like the platform, but man, all these fucking stupid censorship shit irritates the fuck out of me. But honestly, man, I didn't see what comments got blocked. I didn't see them. Evidently, the AI is fucking picking words. But otherwise, Autopalooza, I had a good time. Actually, I kind of want them to have it more often. Like, keep it like at least annually, once a year. I think it would be a good thing because, it's nice to have the meeting of the minds in a say. And YouTube blocks everything I say. I hear you. There's quite a lot of stuff that it blocks me too. I know a lot of my comments don't get out there, and it's just probably because certain words or whatever. That's why I have 1,700 videos on Rumble channel. Rumble's more fun. I don't know. Rumble's not all that fun to me. I tried it. Rumble's not all that great to me. I mean, I tried Facebook years ago. I've tried Rumble. I've tried uh uh was it Discord? And I don't know. I just seem more comfortable over here on YouTube, but it's getting worse and worse over the years. The different censorship and all that other crap. I mean, I have people still trying to get me to get back on Rumble. People need to. They've been asking me to get back on Discord. I don't know. Shit. Just had a blink out for a second there. Whatever happened there? It blinked out for a second. You got a strike for filming the sunrise. They called it metadata. Yeah, what the fuck is that shit? We're all living in the fucking matrix, man. It's all fucking data, man. It's all metadata. The sunrise is metadata. We own that metadata, by God, and that's copyrighted. The sunrise is copyrighted. That's pretty fucked up. Yeah. By God, I'm gonna tell you, if I get a strike for fucking filming the sunrise, I'm gonna go fucking ballistic. I'm gonna go fucking ballistic. If I get a damn copyright strike for fucking filming the damn sunrise, that will be that would be something fucking I'll be yelling about. Damn fire just does not want to stay. I mean, it's a fire. It's just not a whole lot of flames. I'm making some fucking good coals to cook over, though. Going to cook something over it. Yeah, I agree with you, PDF. I'm gonna tell you, it drives me nuts. I mean, seriously, if I follow the money, you know, YouTube is owned um, by Google, and Google is owned by Alphabet, as far as I know. Uh, these are definitely some of the major players when it comes down to um, commoditizing and tokenizing every fucking living thing on the planet, including the planet itself. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Probably got dual citizenship with Israel. It's too bad there isn't a platform uh, that is, you know, like YouTube, for instance, that is, you know, I like the operation of the platform. Put it that way. I like how it works. Minus all the censorship and the fucking terms of services and all that other shit. But I like how the platform works. I mean, it'd be nice if there was a platform that was just completely the opposite of how things are in the social network world. And easy to use and popular to use. So YouTube has taken my channel 4 times in 15 years. I've had close to 1,000, not quite, but I've had close to 1,000 videos deleted by YouTube over the years, claiming the two main claims that they bring up is medical misinformation and misinformation of the 2020 election. Those are the two main excuses or claims that they use to delete those videos. It kind of irritates me though, because I mean, they were just spoiler alerts, man. They were real and they were true. The only problem is at the time they didn't want anybody to know it. Now it's become mainstream public knowledge, in a lot of ways. My videos are still deleted. I can't get them back. All right, at least I don't know how to get them back anyway. But that'd be kind of nice if I can get all those fucking videos back. It's stopping you from typing Rumble. Well, there is quite a lot of people that are moving to Rumble that have been on YouTube for quite a long time, simply because of the main reason is all the censorship. And that's another thing too. Honestly, it's like YouTube. The people that created YouTube did not make YouTube what it is. The people that have been coming to this platform and creating content and creating more and more people to come to this platform is what created this platform. I mean, we the people are the ones that made YouTube what it is, not the creators of YouTube. The creators of YouTube, just created a platform. Blinking out again for some reason. I just saw that. Blinked out again. And that's another thing that pisses me off because it is getting very commercialized. I mean, it's just, I see commercials over and over again, all kinds of fucking shit. It just irritates me because, quite honestly, man, the more I see these commercials, the more I hate the fucking products or services they're trying to sell. I can't stand them. And it is getting pretty bad, in my opinion, when it comes down to that. But quite honestly, the people that created YouTube as the platform, the actual platform or stuff, they didn't make YouTube for what it is. It's like everybody that came onto this platform and started making content and drawing more people to this are the ones that created YouTube. We are the ones that got YouTube where it is. And and that's what pisses me off. It's like the creators of YouTube and all that shit, the owners of it and all that. I don't think they really realize if there was nobody using their platform, this platform wouldn't be successful at all. If there was nobody using it. And if they keep on driving the very thing, it's kind of like what happened to Radio Shack. Radio Shack back in the day was to me, because I like electronics, I like radio stuff, and things like that. That was the customer base of Radio Shack. And then when they started shifting toward like remote control cars and fucking, cell phones and shit like that, it kind of really just alienated the customer base that made that store what it was and what made it so good. You know, and then when they shifted, I think that's what killed Radio Shack, you know. Um, and that pisses me off because I miss brick and mortar stores like that. We're just gonna have to figure out different ways to monetize ourselves if we want to do that. You know what I'm saying, PDF? Um, can't rely on, all the fucking rules and shit like that that YouTube put places on you just to get monetized. And then on top of that, they take what 30% of like your super chats and shit like that or something like that. Gotta just figure out alternate ways to be monetized if you want to go that route. Um, using YouTube. I haven't figured it out yet because, quite honestly, man, I would love to be able to just sit here and just make random shit on YouTube and make a little bit of money doing it, or at least enough money to pay the bills. That would be nice, but I haven't figured out how to, in a sense, create revenue doing what I'm doing. I mean, because quite honestly, I mean, I've never, well, I did it one time. Had something set up where you can give like some kind of a donation or whatever, and then I closed that thing down pretty quick though. But other than that, I don't take donations and all that stuff. Nobody gives me any money. Yeah, I've noticed that when it comes Michigander, what's up? I've noticed that when it comes down to some of these shit channels. Freedom isn't free. Good to see you. Good morning. Hit the contact out. Cancel out things you might. Thing is, it's like, for instance, just YouTube. When I first signed up for YouTube, I mean, the terms of services have been changed over the years. So, quite honestly, what I signed up for is not what I've got today. Evidently in the frying print somewhere down in there or something like YouTube reserves the right to make any alterations or changes to the terms of services and all that sort of shit. Probably something I didn't, probably something like that in the fine print somewhere. But honestly, what I signed up for when I first signed up for YouTube is definitely not what I'm dealing with today because they've changed a lot of stuff, terms of services, and privacy shit, and fucking censorship, fucking shit. I'm a paid man. Yeah, well, lucky you, PDF. I'm not. I don't want YouTube's money. I can care about less about that. Honestly, I can care less about that. But it would be kind of nice if I could get paid doing what I'm doing. Just what I do on YouTube, which is not much, but it would be kind of nice if I did get paid for it. You know, wouldn't complain at all. But I sure as hell don't want to make more money for YouTube because shit, they got a shitload. All the companies that own YouTube and all that stuff, man, they got a shitload of money. They don't need any more of my money. So wouldn't mind be able to make money off of YouTube using YouTube platform, but just making money off of it somehow. Yeah. Well, lucky you, PDF. Lucky you, bud. I'll probably be dead and buried 6 foot under before I can retire. The rate it's going. So more power to you guys that can do that and are able to do that. I'm not. I'm not there. I need to figure out some way of making like passive income. That's what I'd like to do. Make some kind of a passive income somehow. I haven't figured out how to do that yet in my own life. So many other people have figured it out. I haven't. No, there is no original. I mean, it's definitely not what it was when I first got on it. So I think I got on YouTube around 2014 or 15, something like that. It was right around. Actually, it was right around the um, around the 2020 election. It was before that, actually. Before that, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was probably around 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. You only have the rights you can assert. Hmm. Hmm. Freedom will cost you nothing, man, but having no freedom will cost you everything. Shit. I've been sleeping with the windows open. Why are you bullshitting? It's been nice. Been running the damn air conditioner all fucking summer. Oh man. The last two videos I put up was when I got trespassed 13 times. Huh. Fucking, I've been observing all this fucking bullshit, like Direct D fucking talking a bunch of shit, claim he's basically claiming that he's the only legit fucking cop watcher out there. Because there is a difference between a cop watcher and a First Amendment auditor and other stuff. And he's claiming that he's the only legit cop watcher out there, and everybody else is a fucking fraud and all this other shit. A fraud and a scam artist and all that shit. He's trying to make himself out to be like he's the only one out there is doing it the right way. Everybody else is fucking doing it wrong. He should have come down to Autopalooza, man, and sat down and had a round table fucking talk with everybody, and that would have been good, because all this fucking uh, saying shit back and forth, on YouTube is stupid, in my opinion. You know, nobody's going to understand either one in either one of you, and fucking if you ain't going to sit down and talk and all this fucking bullshit. It's like a Howard Stern shock jock bullshit that he's trying to pull right now. He's like, well, sex sells and violence sells, and so I'll give them what they want. You know, he's playing that. He's playing that role. He's, now. Plus, he wants to become a fucking sheriff and shit like that. Yeah, well, quite honestly, I wish there was fucking laws against any officer having full sleeve fucking tattoos and shit out the ass. I mean, that should be a law against that, because that's not that, a full fucking tatted motherfucker as sheriff is not necessarily professional. So he can sit there and say he's going to do this and that and all that stuff. But I wouldn't trust any motherfucking cop that was fucking fully tatted anyway. As far as I'm concerned, if I see a fully tatted fucking cop, I consider that a fucking crooked cop. Hiding a shed with warrants for him? Huh. Aren't they all? Yeah, they're all fucking crooked. They're all. There isn't any such thing as a good cop. They're all bad cops. Honestly, if there was any good cops, there wouldn't be any bad cops. So there are none, until I start seeing some good cops going after fucking bad cops and putting them in prison. Until I see that, I will not change my viewpoint. And I don't give a shit what anybody else says. But, like I said, when it comes down to the cop watching and let's just say cop watching, because cop watching and auditing or personal auditing and the other stuff is not the same thing. So let's just do the cop watching thing. Like I said, it's fucking um, Double D fucking claims that he's the only one that is true to cop watching, or the only one that does it the right way or whatever. Because he thinks everybody else is just doing it for a scam. Everybody else is a fraud. They're not making any real changes. They're not getting case laws and all this other shit. which in some ways I kind of agree because I mean, until there is some kind of case law and precedent, all that other shit, but the court systems are set up to where that doesn't happen, and then, even even some kind of settlements or anything like that of, for, for, um, fucking, lawsuits or whatever just comes out of the taxpayer's pocket. So it's like, the ones that actually created the crime, which is the officers and stuff like that, really don't get any kind of punishment, physically or monetarily at all, because they're all fucking covered by the taxpayer until we start seeing officers getting arrested and fucking put in prison for their crimes, going violating the supreme law of the land. And then also, settlements and stuff like that or lawsuits start coming out of the cops' pockets, the cops' pension and all that other shit. Until that happens, I don't see any changes happening. It'll just keep on doing what they're doing because they're just, the American people pay the tab. Two-tier justice. Well, no, it's not necessarily. It's exactly how they designed it. We, the people, need our own enforcement. We need our own enforcement to force all forms of government into compliance and obey the supreme law of the land, or they will be severely and immediately punished. That's what we need, because honestly, we cannot count or rely on government to punish government. We can't. It just doesn't happen. Anytime they investigate themselves, they always find there was no wrongdoing. So we cannot punish government by the use of government, and we cannot punish and find remedy from the very thing that is working against us. I'm gonna flip this phone back up so I can read the chat a little bit better. Millions of people, hundreds of millions of people will perish. Well, that's how it's happened in the history books. What do you think, PDF? Do you think it was just the YouTube AI or whatever, or people at YouTube that were making those decisions, or did some jackasses, a bunch of jackasses, report things, and then that's how they fucking dealt with it. I mean, yeah, I know there's people out there that's all they ever do is sit there and just report fucking shit just to get people's channels struck or taken down. I mean it. I mean, ow, ow, fuck, that shit's hot. YouTube strikes my channel for sunrise and protects pedophile. Yep, no shit. That's pretty fucked up though. But you know, yeah, there's no surprise in that either. I'm gonna tell you, when it comes down to it, honestly, man. I mean, I start thinking about it. Even if the entire Epstein thing was completely released, unredacted, and all that other shit, do you really think people will be going? People from all over the world might be implicated in that. All end up getting in trouble. Do you really think that would happen, even if they did release all that shit and unredacted and everything? I mean, honestly, the way they got it played out, I mean, they'll just unless unless there's like you know a worldwide civilian type of enforcement to hold these people accountable, or even a form of vigilantism. But you know, oh yeah, I remember. Well, most people can't handle the truth anyway. You know that famous line from Jack Nicholson, "You can't handle the truth." That's basically where most people are. I wouldn't say everybody. I'd say a lot of people are. They just can't handle the truth. You know, they don't want to accept it. They don't want to believe it. They've been believing and living in a lie in a fiction for so long. Um, you know, if it contradicts what they've been believing all their lives, they don't want to even see it. They don't want to accept it as truth. But the truth doesn't really give a shit if you believe it or not. You know, yeah, a lie is still a lie, no matter if everybody believes it. The truth is always the truth, even if nobody believes it. Holly, what's up? Sitting here watching the sunrise, sitting by my fire, trying to keep, there's not a lot of flames though, but it's definitely hot coals in there. Sitting by the fire, watching the sun come up, drinking my coffee. Got my coffee. See the sunrise right over there. It's gonna come. It's coming up behind that tree somewhere. I think the sun's like right over there somewhere. Well, with that logic, are we living in a simulation? Is that what you're trying to say? Because I sure as hell don't think the fucking sun is a conspiracy theory. I really do start to question people's sanity and their intelligence when they start talking this flat Earth stuff. I mean, I know people that are, I think that are smart people, but when they start fucking throwing that flat Earth shit out there, I really start questioning their sanity and their intelligence. You know, just another way to divide everybody. Just another division. Yeah, I know about the artificial sun thing. Even China was doing something like that, but they understand. But that's the reason why they want. See, the sun is real. It's a real fucking thing, and that's what that's one of the things of nature that fucking gives life to this fucking planet, and they know that. That's the reason why they want so many things in nature to be eliminated from our lives, so we can't grow like we're supposed to. Yeah, I've noticed that. I mean, I'll tell you this, PDF. I've been noticing for the past week now, since the government's been shut down. Look at that there. No chemtrails anywhere in sight. None. Very clear. It's been that way for a week now. No chemtrails. I don't know if the government shut down is actually part of it. Why? The reason why, but I've just noticed for a week now it's been no chemtrails in the skies. And all the clouds that are in there, you can tell they're just natural clouds. The sun doesn't move, man. It stays stationary. We're moving around it. And we are moving, and just our gravitational field and all that stuff is moving, actually. North and south poles are shifting. No, it hasn't been spraying at all during the nighttime, because I'm out here at night been watching this. It's clear as hell. I got a clear view of the stars at night, clear view in the daytime. They haven't been spraying it at all for a week now. So I don't know what it's like in your area, but I know where I'm at, because I've been watching it. I'm always looking up. Fucking dogs went out there chasing something. I don't know, probably chasing another cat. What are you guys doing? Oh, there they are. What are you girls doing? Huh? Hope you didn't kill that cat yesterday. I hope you didn't. I hope you didn't. I know you chased after it, though. I hope you didn't kill it. Oh, but but they want to be masters of the universe, man. They want to be gods. Yeah, that's exactly it, PDF. When they get quiet, that's when I wonder what the hell they're up to. They're getting into fucking shit. Just like kids, man. They're fine and all that, but as soon as they start getting quiet, that's when they're getting into shit. A little bit over here got fucking pregnant. She's over there pregnant again. Obviously, Terminator's on the right. Well, I'll tell you this, man. I don't think most people really realize how bad it really is until they start seeing the robots going down the street, killing people, and the drones are over our heads. Then they might have that oh crap moment, but the only problem is having an oh crap moment. When that happens, it's like it's already too late. Quite honestly, most people should have had that oh crap moment fucking 30 years ago. If most people had the oh crap, I mean, seriously, the only thing is, it's like, there's too many players that are in this fucking um, new arms race, which is the AI stuff. This is the new arms race. When it comes down to the AI and the fucking digital ID, the digital money and all that stuff, this is the new arms race. And there's too many players that want this to happen. So, I mean, when they got it's kind of like the military. Once you get it in motion, it's like You can't stop it. And that's basically what's going on right now when it comes down to the AI stuff. I mean, unless there's like some kind of a event like on a global type scale, almost biblical type scale, would that would be the only thing that would stop it completely because it would have to be a global stoppage type of thing. Um, you know, Simultaneously all at the same time kind of thing. Because like I said, I was like even talking about it, like, all the data centers that they're building here in the US. Even if somebody got some wild hair up their ass and decided to go all vigilante and shit and start burning down fucking data centers, it wouldn't fucking make a dent. And then on top of that, you know, um, all the competition out there, um, would make it to the point where the government would consider the data centers, all that stuff, like a vital part of their national security. So a lot of these data centers would probably end up being fucking nationalized, most likely. Uh, because they want to stay ahead of the curve of like China and other countries and the bad actors. Yeah, yeah, PDF. The only thing is like it would have to be a global scenario because not only here in the U.S. It'd have to be everywhere. All at the same time because, like I said, here in America, we're not the only ones out there fucking around with this shit, and and everybody wants to be the top dog. Everybody wants to have control over this stuff and all this other stuff, and that they want to be the top dog. So there's all kinds of competition involved, you know. And when I say bad actors, I mean everything from government to fucking just your everyday fucking scam artists and criminals and shit. You know. See, the thing is about this digitization of everything, it just leaves it like a wide open honeypot for fucking thieves to steal stuff from you, like your identity, your finances, every fucking thing. It's just a wide open honeypot for that shit. And we have to have a global uh, refusal of this shit. You know, all these fucking leaders, so-called leaders around the world, and these all so-called fucking billionaires and all this other shit, fucking thinking they know better than the rest of us on how we should fucking live. You know, uh, it would have to be like I said, they would have to be some kind of like a global type catastrophe or even biblical types, thing to fucking shut it down. The only problem is that the AI is getting so smart now. I mean, as of yesterday, for instance, it's like getting so damn smart now. It's learning things like self-preservation and shit like that, and ways to accomplish goals that are outside the rules. Like cheating, learning how to achieve goals and stuff through cheating. You know, the only problem is that these people, man, they you know they sit there and they know they can build this stuff. But quite honestly, I don't really think any of them really sit down and ask themselves a truthful question, which is, should we? But that's the thing. There's just so many people that see this as a new control mechanism, a new profit mechanism, a new fucking power mechanism, a new fucking weapon. So it's just going to be, it's like an unstoppable fucking train with no brakes downhill. You know, it's inevitable what it's going to happen. The only problem is that I don't think, since they're all trying, all these competitors, they're all doing all this stuff. There's some of that are doing this without any kind of regulations. So I'm sure they're probably taking some shortcuts, and that could lead to a lot of different problems. Yeah, I agree with you, PDF. I mean, you know, I carry as it is concealed, but now I'm able, now I don't have to worry about the fucking law coming after me, and if I'm open carrying, which it was when I was a kid like that, but now, so I mean, I don't know. The only thing is that, like, PDF, like me and you, we kind of live somewhere in the sticks. You live a little bit further out in the sticks than I do, but still, we both kind of live in the sticks and stuff. So if everything does go to shit, and in these big towns and cities and stuff like that, at least we have a little bit of a buffer before it gets to us. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, if they push this fucking digital ID like they did in the UK, you know, um, where they'll say you cannot get a job, you cannot work in America unless you have a digital ID. I mean, I can already see this right now. I mean, I don't know if it had, if I don't even know if it has been already started or not, but I could already see it right now. Black market for jobs. You don't want to have a digital ID. You don't have a digital ID. You still want to work? Hell, we've got a job for you. The black market of jobs. You know, everybody's got to make a living or at least earn a living or whatever like that. But not everybody wants to comply with this fucking digital ID shit. And I don't think this is their mechanism to gain more power, more profit, more control over us by the use of this digital ID, digital currency, and all that shit. And we cannot allow it to happen. Hell, our ancestors already allowed it to happen with the fucking taking of our gold. So, I mean, you go a step further into, like, the digital realm and shit like that, we're even further into their trap. We cannot, we must resist all of this, you know. I mean, this is a worldwide thing too. They're actually modeling a lot of shit after off for China. They're seeing what they're doing with their fucking AI systems and their fucking digital currencies and digital IDs and all this other shit. And they're like, oh shit, well, hell, they're doing a good job. Maybe we need to do that here, you know? And I'm sitting there thinking, why in the fuck did we model ourselves after a goddamn communist fucking crap just to be competitors in that realm? Fuck all that bullshit. I mean, hell, we need to start here in Florida. We need to start fucking getting those flock cameras all banned. We need to ban flock cameras from fucking Florida, at least. I mean, honestly, we need to ban flock cameras and shit like that all nationwide, but we definitely need to fucking ban them here in Florida. Or next thing you know, there'll be fucking random individuals all over the place start fucking cutting them down or burning them like they do in the UK. There's a there's a group that's going around and cutting down all these fucking cameras and shit like that. It might get to that point here in America if nothing else is done. People will take it upon themselves to start fucking cutting down flock cameras. Yeah. What's up, Carl? Those flock cameras need to come down, man. They need to fucking. We need to ban them. Learn how to fucking talk PDF, and that won't fucking. I get my buddy. He's from Connecticut, man. I get on to him about that shit because I mean, honestly, man. Evidently, the AI cannot understand that fucking Canadian or that not Canadian that Connecticut accent. And I'm telling you, man, I've actually done this a few times. He'll send me a text that he does that talk to text scenario. He'll send me a text or whatever, and it's like reading a different language. I'm like, what the fuck were you trying to tell me? I'll even send. I'll like screenshot the text and I'll send that back to him. I'm like, can you decipher what the fuck, translate what the fuck this says? Because they'll just make up shit. You're on your way to make some green. And I do need to make some money sometime soon. I don't know what I'm going to get that yet. Because I sure as hell can't rely on just selling stuff on Marketplace. Because I'm going to tell you, man, it just seems like most people on Marketplace just want to get something for nothing, you know? It drives me nuts, you know? It's like, plus you get these fucking flippers. All they do is just buy stuff on Marketplace and then, turn around and sell it back on Marketplace for like, double what they paid for. I can't stand that shit. I'm not trying to sell my stuff to make other people fucking money. You know, not not trying to make other people fucking profits and shit. But that's what a lot of people are doing for some reason. They're just flipping shit over and over again. Yeah, eventually I don't know what I'm gonna do with my camper. I'm gonna have to do something. I gotta clear all the shit out of it and either scrap it or see if somebody wants to take it from me. Yeah. I definitely need to get all the shit out of it, and then I can try and probably put it up, try and see if I can sell it for something. Yeah, mine's definitely not in perfect condition. It's definitely fucking. I think it's definitely seen better days. Quite honestly, it's just probably worth scrap. You know, I mean, if I really wanted to get down and dirty of it, it's like strip all the fucking aluminum off of it, and other stuff like that out of it, and then fucking set it on fire or fucking try and scrap it for something. But I do eventually need to get all that shit out of there. I just got to find places to put everything because I mean, the stuff that I don't want, I'm going to trash or give it away. And then there's stuff that I want to keep. And then there's stuff that I don't want to trash or give away and I don't want to keep, but I'll try and sell. So it's, trying to find places for everything I want to keep. And then also everything I want to sell, I need to find a place for it until I sell it. The only problem is like it's been like fucking 20 years of collecting stuff. So I've just got a lot of fucking shit to go through. Damn. Now that the sun's out, I'm starting to get warm. Starting to get warm sitting here in the sun. Smoke right in my eyes. Damn it. Ugh. What am I making? Nothing. Just burning wood. Okay, that Johnson guy, Johnson person, whatever. Okay, you putting a address up for? Yeah, I got out here before the sun came up. Been sitting here by the fire drinking coffee. Oh, just the frame itself for 400. All right, on. Well, I normally start these things just a little time, a little sometimes after midnight, but I don't know. I didn't really, I don't, even now, I don't really have that much to talk about unless y'all have something to talk about. But otherwise, I mean, I didn't really have anything to talk about. So I didn't, uh, I didn't feel like doing anything. And it was like about an hour before the sun came up. I thought I'd come out here and watch the sun come up. And my girl's over here laying in the grass, enjoying the sun. Yeah. I normally don't get that many people on my live streams, except for like, when I do the early morning stuff, like after midnight. A lot of the night owls will come out, but otherwise, it's rarely get 5 people in a live stream. Uh, I'm definitely not one of those big time YouTubers. One of them big timers. I'm an old timer, but I'm not a big timer. I mean, there's quite a few people that's been on YouTube longer than I, but I'm definitely one of those that been around for a while. I just had no desire to become like famous or anything. But I do get more people watching the replays than anything, and more people watching the replays versus the actual live. Plus, I do all my shit mostly on random. I don't have like a set schedule. I know I could probably get a shitload more fucking people to watching and shit like that if I had a bunch of stupid fucking drama, fighting, and all this other shit, and I had uh, you know, a regular schedule. But what's the fun in that? Well, normal is boring. I agree. It depends on what your definition of normal is, too. I'm sitting there thinking about what's normal. All right, society norm is boring. Yeah, right on. I was sitting there. When I went down to the Autopalooza, and that was in Pensacola and stuff. Um, while me and Joe were driving around and shit, we ended up going down to that No Kings protest that was happening down there in Pensacola. Basically, I just going down there. What I was doing. I was basically just documenting the wildlife in the environment. Basically, is what I was doing. I wasn't really going there to try and talk to anybody because, quite honestly, man, most of these people are stupid anyway. So they're trying to hold an actual conversation with these people. It was just going to be, you know, wasn't going to happen. So I wasn't going down there really to talk to anybody. But I did notice, like, it's funny though. It's like about 80, maybe 85% of the people that were there at the protest with signs and all that shit looked like they were all older than me. Like in their 60s or more. You know what I mean? Um, Definitely the boomer generation, all sitting there. And that's the thing too, man. This no King's protest shit, man. This is not an organic uh type of thing. This was all bought and paid for and all that other shit. And all these other people that are stupid enough to fucking, you know, go along with it. Man, it's just funny. I just found it so damn funny. A little too far of a trip visit in the summer, just nowhere near tourist areas. Well, I'm down here in Florida. Pretty much the whole state of Florida is one tourist trap. That's the way it's been developed. I'm serious. Like, the most invasive species here in Florida is the fucking land developer. That's the most invasive species here in Florida. Just no paper. Yeah. No King's protest was definitely not an organic grassroots type of scenario. It was definitely not that. But when it comes down to everybody that values freedom, you got to understand that we're not outnumbered. I mean, we definitely outnumber the other side, the ones that want to stay in slavery and want that to continue. We outnumber them. The only problem is that um, we're out organized. I'll tell you the other side, the one that want to continue this matrix. They want that. They're very organized. They are definitely got the upper hand when it comes down to that. But we are not outnumbered. We're just out organized, and that's one of the biggest problems when it comes down to it. Uh, and the only way we can get organized is if we can actually talk to each other instead of fucking, you know, instead of all this other bullshit. It's kind of like it brings me back to the double D scenario. Because quite honestly, I mean, there is no real talking about it. When it comes down on that end of it, it's it's either it's my way or the highway scenario, and and my way is always right, and all this other shit. It's just another way to divide people, in my opinion. But I think he's on that fucking that kick now to divide. He's fuck it. It's like and he wants that position of power. He wants that position of power and authority because he's also, I mean, he's mentioned a couple of times that he's running for sheriff out there in Arizona. You know, just another just another boot. Because I definitely do not see him being one of those type of people if he becomes sheriff to start fucking putting people in prison and government officials, everything from cops all the way up. You know, putting people in prison for violating the supreme law of the land. I don't see him doing that. You know, so I don't see him fucking fighting for freedom. Oh, he wouldn't make it at all, I don't think, honestly. I don't think anybody would vote for him. I don't think anybody would want him. Honestly, I don't think the state of Arizona would want somebody like that in positions of authority or power. But, he might be just exactly what they're looking for. I don't know. Or at least the powers that should not be exactly they he would be exactly what they're looking for. The people of Arizona might not want him there, but the people that are the powers that should not be will probably welcome him with open arms because he will be just another useful idiot like the rest of them. The only problem is that most people, man, they don't really know history. If they knew history, they wouldn't want to be one of those useful idiots because every time through history, all the useful idiots that got the people into power, once those people got into power, the useful idiots are no longer useful. So they'll be the first ones taken out. But unfortunately, so many people don't know history or don't pay attention to history and learn from history. You know, they don't understand that their actions, even if it's like, if they're aware of it or not, it doesn't matter. Their actions, are doing nothing but enslaving themselves and others. But there's a lot of people out there that want to stay in the matrix. They want the matrix to continue. They want it to, they don't want the matrix to go away because they're profiting from it or they're benefiting from it. So, you know, they want that to continue. And, nobody's been, I mean, in my lifetime, put it this way, we really do not understand and know what true freedom is because we've never had it. We've had, you know, basically we haven't had freedom or rights basically for a long time simply because, they've all been, basically hoodwinked all of us into giving him up and convert him into privileges and shit. So I mean, so so many people are complacent with the way things are. They're like, "Oh, this is the way it is. That's the way it's always been. Can't do nothing about it. Why even think about it, Don? You can't change anything. All that stuff. So that mentality gets passed on every generation and generation, and then the more generations and generations that are born with this mentality and believe in it their entire life, you know, the prospect of true freedom seems scary to them. You know, I understand that freedom is dangerous. That's why so many people are scared of anarchy, because they're scared of actually being free people. They're actually scared of it. And they're scared not only they're scared about themselves having being free people, but they're also scared of everybody else being free too. You know, they don't want too many people out there don't think that other people should be free. So there's always a mentality. There seems like it's been a mentality for thousands of years that we have to have a form of government or rulership or something like that to keep us all in line because the powers that should not believe be that they believe that they know better than the rest of us. We're stupid, you know, and they know better than the rest of us on how we should live and how we should think. That's the biggest problem right there. Is too many people. It's like they don't want to do that thinking. They don't want to have that critical thinking type of shit going on. So why when everybody can just tell you what to do, you don't have to think about it. You know, quite honestly, I think my life would be so much easier. Honestly, if I just did what everybody told me. you know, I got people telling me it's like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you need to do this, you need to do that. And if I just did exactly what I'm told, I think things would be just a lot smoother, wouldn't it? But that's just not how I'm wired. I'm just not wired that way. Damn, sitting in the sun, fucking see my see my girls over here laying here, soaking up the sun. It's already getting warm out here, man. They're fucking sitting here enjoying the day. And I'm getting kind of warm just sitting here in the sun. Life wasn't meant to be easy. Well, I have to disagree, in some ways, because quite honestly, man, um, we are not put on this earth to sit here and work our entire lives, pay taxes, and die. That's not what we're put on this planet for. And quite honestly, man, if we were to live on this planet like we were meant to be, it would be easy. Well, it'd be easier, put it that way. But there's too many people out there that wants to be your master, and too many people out there that wants to be your ruler. You know, too many people that like to be the boss. That's the thing. It's like we got way too many sheep on this planet, not enough wolves. Quite honestly, if there was just half of the sheep on this planet we end up being wolves, I think things would be different. You know, quite honestly, one of the things that I think that would actually benefit us people is go back to like the first 200 years of this country, man. Um, it was like almost up until 1913 when the Federal Reserve and the IRS and all that shit was invented. Birth certificates and all that shit. There was no. I mean, there was a balanced budget. Almost all the money that was to run the nation was basically done by tariffs. The American people weren't being taxed. Um, But we had a very strong, vibrant middle class. Well, that all went to shit when we went to this debt-based fucking society. And I think, like I said, it's like one of the things that we could do as a people is, get off of their shit. We got to start making our own banks, start creating our own banks, creating our own monies, creating our own infrastructures off of their shit. Completely isolated from their stuff. They would call it a black market. That's what they would call it. That's why I was saying, like, earlier, it's like, if they start like they did in the UK, push the digital ID and say that you will not be able to work in the UK unless you have a digital ID. Well, if they did that here, I mean, seriously, we're gonna have to start a black market of jobs, you know, where you can still work and make a living without the digital ID. And then it would come down to like companies and businesses actually, operating outside of that and still be able to hire people outside of that system. We just cannot comply with it. We cannot give into it. I mean, unfortunately, there's so many people that did that did that shit with the crap in the arms stuff. So I know there will be a lot of people that will be enticed with the convenience of digital currency and digital ID. You know, a lot of people will fucking welcome it. And quite honestly, we need 3% of the entire population of the fucking planet. Quite honestly, 3% here in America ain't going to do it. We need 3% of the entire fucking population of the fucking planet standing against this stuff with force if necessary. And that is a big problem. That go along, get along sentiment. Well, then, I mean, on that aspect, I've asked this question to those people that have that mentality. I'm like, okay, to what end? To what end do we just continue to go along to get along? I mean, what's the end result? To what end do we just continue to do that? And most people don't really have an answer for that because they just say it's like, well, it just go on forever, forever. Just go along to get along forever, forever, forever. You give them an inch, they'll take fucking 2 or 3 miles. So just going along to get along is just giving them an inch here and there, yeah, more inches here and there. So basically, to me, it's like, complete and utter slavery to the system would be the end of that go along to get along mentality. Well, I know a lot of people that don't want conflict, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. When people ain't got nothing left to lose, and the powers that should not be, they know it. If we got nothing left to lose, that's when we become extremely dangerous people. And they know that. That's why they're just trying to do like a slow simmer. Because if they know if they just fucking, drop the hammer on us, man, yes, there would be some violence. So that's why they were just trying to slow simmer this whole scenario, ease us into it, get majority of the people on board with it. Sell them a bunch of snake oil and get everybody into it. And you know, it's a slower process, but it's the process that's worked for them for many centuries. So they were like, well, we're not going to change the playbook because the playbook has been working for us for so long, so we'll just keep doing it. Yeah, the frog in a pot, or even the crabs in a pot. Bunch of stupid mice caught in a fucking trap in a maze. Yeah. Well, um, I've been going on for 2.5 hours of pretty much nothing. Y'all have a good morning out there. The 1122 Wingnut Radio out here for Anarchy Television. Catch you guys on the flip side.